Trojan Felly, what's up, man? USCJ here. It's the top of the morning. Listen, I hope everybody is getting ready to get up, get out, and make some things happen this morning. Listen, happy Tuesday to everybody. Listen, I think we all should be extremely, very encouraged this morning just because of the fact that we heard a very, very encouraging press conference coming from Coach Luke Hewitt. We'll talk about that. I want to get into the top 25 as well because, look, man, I believe that this coach's poll is a little bit lost in the sauce, man. I couldn't really deal with it yesterday. I was dealing with some of this DJ Wingfield stuff. I actually put out two videos. One, you guys go watch it if you haven't watched it already, but one is talking about Deanton Lynn. Is this defense probably the best defense that Deanton Lynn has ever had? If you guys haven't watched that, go check it out. It's, I think that we can make a strong case for that. But then even yesterday, I had to kind of do a follow-up with DJ Wingfield. For those who haven't saw that new case, his case has been transferred to August 18th, and it was originally transferred to August 8th, which was this Friday. So you guys haven't seen those videos, go watch both of those videos yesterday. We're doing double work yesterday, trying to move and groove, making sure you guys are up to date on all your information. Now, let's get into some of the things that Coach Luke Hewitt said in reference to Jaden Mayava. He talked about the mental clarity. He talked about just knowing the offense. He talked about how he just feels more comfortable. He looks comfortable all across the board in his own skin. He's one of the leaders of the football team. And this is what we told you, man. We told you that Jaden Mayava really didn't have an opportunity just to have this a whole year, man. And as a result, we saw where, he was just learning. And by the way, I was on a Minnesota podcast the other day, and I had to tell them, even them, and they didn't say nothing disrespectful, but I told them, I said, because they referenced Jaden Mayava, I told them that, look, man, he did go 3-1. He lost against Notre Dame and coincidentally threw for the most yards against a team like Notre Dame that they had all year long, even threw more yards than what Drew Allard threw for the Penn State quarterback. He threw for 360 yards. That's the most that Notre Dame had on him all year long. And Notre Dame was supposed to have the best pass defense and the best defense overall in the country. And Jaden Mayava, for him to come down there and do that, and let's just keep it real. It wasn't until the last 4 minutes of the game that Jaden Mayava threw the first pick. But before that, prior to it, he was moving and grooving. And so we got to salute him. But when I listen to some of the things, and this is all across the board, it goes back to the media day as well. Even some of the things that Jaden Mayava said, just as far as, that he's paying more detail, more attention to. And then listen to another press conference where he talked about Coach True gave him a book and how he's just kind of focusing, meditating, just clarity, mental clarity. And as a result, Jaden Mayava, I just think that we're seeing the coaching staff right now is seeing a better product on the field. And he was already a raw product with just raw talent, like phenomenal arm, incredible athleticism. And now he's able to move and groove, get into this playbook 100% all the way. And Coach Luke Hewitt, he alluded to it. They feel very comfortable right now with him. And he looks like he's the guy leading this thing all the way now. Now, the question I got for you is, if USC really moves and grooves with Jaden Mayava, he has a phenomenal year. And we kind of see that going through the 5th, 6th game. Does Hassan Longstreet, does he redshirt? I like Hassan Longstreet. I love him. But of course, you guys know you don't want to waste him. And I kind of feel like this thing is set up perfectly if everything goes the way we want it to. Jaden Mayava this year, maybe he has a just incredible year. I'm just kind of hypothetically speaking. He has an incredible year this year, raises his stock up, maybe going to draft, maybe not. But then Hassan Longstreet comes along next year. I'm just believing that it could flow like that. And then Jonas Williams, and then possibly the quarterback out of Shreveport, Louisiana. He's crystal ball to us, Peyton Houston. He haven't committed, but he is crystal ball to us. I'm just believing that everything could kind of flow like that. And if it does flow like that, USC will be in some absolute phenomenal shape. And so I think that's the way we can move and groove and kind of expect to move and groove. And the comfortability right now that Jaden Mayava appears to be operating in the pocket with the team, the chemistry, the playbook, all of it, I think it's go time. It's all mental as it relates to him. So I think Jaden Mayava got it, man. So you guys can drop the comments. You guys can tell me what you think. How you guys feeling based on the information that has been shared now as it relates to this coaching staff? Now we heard it from Luke Heward, and then we also heard it from Lincoln Riley that Jaden Mayava is that projected guy. Drop the comments, man. You guys tell me what you think. You guys already know where you can find me, man. Make sure everybody that comes on, make sure you guys hit the like button, make sure you hit the share button, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. You guys know where you can find me. It's USCJ32 on Instagram and USCJ32 on Twitter. Now, we got to get to this because this has got to be the most lost in the sauce type of situation that we can imagine. And I'm going to tell you guys this for several reasons. And this is the coaches poll that just came out. And I do feel like there is a level of disrespect. And I mean, for so many reasons. You're not going to sit here and tell me that Iowa State, I'm not, I mean, a lot of those teams, Texas Tech, I don't care. Even SMU. We saw SMU struggle last year in the playoffs. I mean, I'm just going to call it what it is, man. We saw SMU struggle in the playoffs last year against Penn State, right? Was it against Penn State? Yeah, it was against Penn State. We saw what we did. We lost a lot of fourth quarter games. Now, I'm not saying that we should be in the top 10. I'm not even saying that we should be in the top 15. I'm not even going to say that because I understand that USC has to absolutely prove themselves in order to have any type of respect, to get any respect around the country. But what I am going to say is this, and I'm going to just go through this list. Let me just go through it, man. Texas, number one, you guys see it there. You guys have any disagreement with this list, you guys let me know. Texas, I think the jury's still going to be out on them until we see the quarterback really operating. I think he's a phenomenal talent, Archie Manning. I think that sky's the limit for him. But, you know, we haven't seen him play a full season. It's a difference once you take full control. We've seen guys that have the backup role. They show flashes. But what happens when you take full control of the ship and see how you move and groove and operate? We'll see what happens. Ohio State, you know, their quarterback, he's going to be broken in as well. I think they got some defenders coming back, but it's going to be either Julian Sain or I can't remember the other quarterback name. I can argue that Penn State could probably, you know, anytime you got a quarterback like Drew Allard, you know, a quarterback that's already been there, I will tend to put that quarterback ahead of a lot of people. I will tend to put that team ahead of a lot of people just because, man, you know, I've always told you guys here on this channel that to me, the quarterback is what makes the world go round. If you got a good quarterback, you are in play big time. And so I could argue that Penn State, I'm just saying, could possibly be up there. And they got some returning players coming back. Georgia, number 4. You guys can tell me what you think about that. Notre Dame, number 5. I'm not going to argue with that. Jordan Love is a monster. He's a beast. That running back, that running game, the offensive line, the way they move and groove, they got that thing down together. We'll see what happens with them. They have to break their quarterback in as well. Clemson, I think Clemson could be a sleeper team because they got a big-time quarterback, K. Klubnik, that's coming back. I think he's a good quarterback. You know, he had a little rough time in the beginning, his first year, and I remember he came in for somebody, I can't remember, but he is super athletic. He's out of the state of Texas, super fast. He throws on a run, and he's just a problem, man. He takes what the defense gives him. And I think they're going to give LSU some problems at the first part of the season. And then you see Oregon, number 7. They're breaking the quarterback. And that's the common theme right now. A lot of these teams in the top 25, they're breaking some quarterbacks in. At least we got a quarterback that's been in the system and that's familiar. I think that's going to be advantage USC. But we'll talk about that later on here. But Oregon, number 7, we'll see what they have. I know they got talent coming back, but I think that Dante Moore, we saw what he was able to do at UCLA, but I think he's not the same as a Bo Nix, and I don't think he's the same as a Dylan Gabriel. Is he talented? Yes, but those guys were very experienced guys, so we'll see what happens with that. Alabama, they're losing their quarterback. They got to break a new one in as well. Their quarterback went to the draft as well. They're number 8. I just, you know, here's my thing. Oklahoma beat Alabama last year. I mean, to me, it's like they automatically give the SEC teams flowers, and it makes no sense. I don't understand, like, how do you give every SEC team – I'm not even arguing the point that we're not even in the top 25 right now. I'm looking at all these SEC teams, and they get the automatic, and this is how they always set it up. And the coaches polls, you guys got to remember, man, this stuff is primarily made up out of a lot of this, the southern region. But they got Alabama. The jury's still out on them. They lost against Michigan in the bowl game. They lost against was it against South Carolina? No, they lost against Vanderbilt. They lost against Vanderbilt, and they lost against Oklahoma. Should they be in the top 25 right now? Who knows? I mean, if it's based off what they did last year, I mean, who knows? I mean, we'll see. LSU, their quarterback's coming back, so I'll give them some credit. But I don't think they're gonna win that game at Clemson. I'm calling it right now. I don't think Nussmeier. I think Clemson defense is athletic. I think they're gonna beat LSU that first game of the season in the other Death Valley. The Death Valley in Clemson, not the Death Valley in LSU. Miami. Cam Ward was a huge factor. I don't think the new quarterback that transferred from Georgia is Cam Ward. I don't think he's accurate as him. He's mobile, but not as accurate. I think there's going to be a drop-off with them. I don't think they're the number 10 team in the country. Arizona State, they're losing quite a few people. Number 11, I think that quarterback, if I'm not mistaken, if that quarterback is coming back, he's a winner. But they did lose Scatterbull, but I like what they're doing there, and their schedule sets up well for them. Illinois, they got them ranked number 12. A lot of people high on Illinois. That's who they are, South Carolina, who Illinois beat last year, number 13. They got their quarterback coming back. So what can I say? They lost a lot of people on the defensive front. So we'll see what happens. When you lose that amount on the defensive front, that's a whole nother story. And that's going to be the next thing for Michigan as well. They lost Grant, right? They lost Graham on the defensive line, and they lost Josiah Stewart. That's his name for Michigan. They lost a lot of guys, 3 important, tough guys on the defensive front. So is Michigan going to be the number 14 team in the country? I'm not sure. They're breaking in the freshman quarterback as well. You guys can hit me and tell me. Jackson Dart departed now from Ole Miss, but Lane Kiffin is a heck of a coach. They seem to have some things going, so we'll see what happens with them. But they're breaking in another quarterback. I don't think SMU is going to be the number 16 team in the country. I'm sorry. Based on the way they played against Penn State, they don't seem like they can play with the big boys. The ACC is somewhat lost in the sauce, period. That's the way I feel about them. Florida, DJ Lagway, he's a heck of a quarterback. And he showed flashes last year. So if he's able to move and groove and show flashes like the way he showed last year, Florida might be okay. Tennessee, they got the quarterback that came from UCLA. They lost Nico. Nico went to UCLA, and then the quarterback from UCLA that transferred went to Tennessee. And so we'll see what happens. The jury's still out on them, but what makes them the number 18 team in the country? I tend to think, it's somewhat of a bias all the way across the board because they always going to dominate with the SEC teams in there. But we looked at what happened last season. USC beat 2 teams that are in the top 25. They beat Texas A&M and they beat LSU. Michigan beat Alabama. Look at South Carolina lost against Illinois. The Big Ten pretty much dominated the SEC, and they got all these teams in here like the SEC is running stuff. That's the type of stuff I'll be talking about when you talk about this biased top 25 stuff. But let me move on. Indiana, they did their thing last year. They came on strong. Number 19, that might be where they're at. Kansas State, they're playing in the Big 12. We'll see what happens with them. We'll see what happens with them. They were somewhat okay last year. They played some fundamental football, some good football. Of course, we got Coach True from them. So that discipline aspect of it, we now have it. So we'll see what happens with them. Texas A&M, you know what? I like the quarterback, but we took it to him. I mean, we all have players that left. Should they be rated over us? I don't think so. Iowa State, should they be rated over us? Absolutely not. BYU, they always a physical team, but should they be rated over us? I don't think so. Texas Tech, should they be rated over us? Yes, they played good football last year, but they shouldn't be rated over us. And so, look, man, you guys can drop the comments, man. Boise State lost some players. We got the big-time receiver, Prince Stratton, from Boise State. So, you know what? But leave it as it is. Greg, I was told yesterday that Greg McElroy, I didn't see the actual clip, but Greg McElroy from ESPN, I was told, ranked USC as the number 11 team in the country. So we'll see what happens. I think Would I put us at number 11? I wouldn't put us that high because at the end of the day, I know that we need to prove ourselves. But I do think that we're going to be a team that's going to be a top 10 team at the end by the end of the season. I will say that much. And I believe in this team, and I believe the talent that we have coming back. And I think we can have one of the most explosive offenses in the country as well as one of the most explosive teams in the country. So you guys drop the comments, man. You guys tell me what you think, man. This is what I call a loss in the sauce list right here. I'm out of here, man. Happy Tuesday to everybody, man. Everybody stay blessed. Fight on, fight on, fight on.